welcome all of you once again. It's Backpack, and still we have a lot of things to tell you about Egypt. Well, talking about the museums and talking about palaces in Egypt, when we talk about museums, again, we say that it is important if you want to learn about the culture and history, better to visit the museum. But also in these museums, we have many things to talk about. In addition to the museums, we have palaces, and we have several places and several sites that can tell us more about leaders of Egypt. Well, when we talk about leaders, we are not only talking about Egyptian ancient leaders, but also this has to do with modern Egypt. We have many different eras. Each era is different and has its own unique things to be tackled. This time, I'll tell you more about one of the Egyptian leaders of modern Egypt. The Museum of Royal Carriages was established during the reign of Khedive Ismail in the last quarter of the 20th century. He was the first one to think of founding a special building to show off the royal carriages and horses. This building was originally called the Department of the Khedive Carriages when it was first established, and then the name was modified to become the Management of the Royal Stables, which was one of the three managements that used to follow the instructions of the Department of the Khedive Carriages. As many different periods of time went by, the building was transformed to become the Museum of Royal Carriages, because it was used to host the carriages, horses, and even their ornaments that used to belong to the members of the royal family in Egypt. also hosted the horses of the caliph and other horses that were owned by other past royal family members. Experts, doctors, and vets were brought from all over the world to take care of the horses. This is in addition to the skilled workers who used to maintain and restore the royal carriages for display. The department of the Khedive carriages did not only manage the horse carriages of the Khedive and his family, but also used to take care of the automobiles of the family that used to own valuable, expensive cars from different world class. The building of the museum used to consist of different sections. The first was for the horse carriages, the second was for the horses stable, and the third was a vet's clinic. The fourth was a complete ambulance office, and the last section was specified for the workers to live and sleep in. 1909, the Governorate of Cairo took around three-quarters of the surface area of the Museum of Royal Carriages and transformed it into a garage. Afterwards, in 1978, some of the most remarkable carriages and uniforms were chosen to be put on display, and the rest of the items were stored in special warehouses. The museum also used to have a large open courtyard, and this was where the royal carriages were prepared before the caliph or any of his family members ride in any of them. The facade of the Museum of the Royal Carriages consists of architectural portraits in the shape of horses' heads, and it was more than 15 meters high, forming a notable scene in one of the less historic neighborhoods of Cairo. The museum has vertical geometrical trim and wonderful models of artificial horses that were used to explain the muscular anatomy of the horse. The Museum of Royal Carriages exhibits around 78 historically valuable royal carriages. 22 carriages of this collection were gifts that were presented to the rulers of Egypt since the reign of Khedive Ismail and until the ruling period of King Farouk by other kings and emperors of Europe. Among the most important carriages that were presented to the rulers of Egypt as gifts is the carriage that was given by Napoleon III and Queen Eugenie, and that was given to Khedive Ismail in the ceremony of the opening of the Suez Canal in 1869. Khedive Ismail used this royal carriage during his wedding ceremony. Another notable example of this wonderful collection of carriages is the Cuban carriage that was used by the Queen and other family members during the opening conference of the Parliament. During the reign of King Fuad, who ruled Egypt from 1917 till 1922, the carriages were used to transfer the ambassadors of foreign countries during their journey in Egypt. The royal carriage that was given to Khedive Ismail as a gift from Queen Eugenie was used to transfer the kings, queens, emperors of Europe and other nations during their trips in Egypt. The Museum of Royal Carriages also has 7 galleries and 20 glass cupboards to preserve and display different types of uniforms that were used in royal carriage affairs, including leather outfits, the ornaments that the horses used to wear, oil-colored paintings, and a large collection of geometrical drawings that illustrate the structural formations of carriages. There are also 8 models of human beings made out of plaster to show the outfits and uniforms. There are also thousands of other items that the people working with the carriages used to wear and use, available for visitors to see. And with this, we come to the end of our backpack for today. Thank you all for joining us. We will be back and we will bring you more about Egypt. Always remember, Backpack will be your guide to Egypt, to discover Egypt, to learn more about the important historical sites, and also to learn more about how you can enjoy your vacation in Egypt.